You know, some say that being a parent is the hardest job you can have. Like any job, sometimes we need to step back and assess our progress. A new book, Parenting 2.0, Think of the Future, Act in the Now, has some great advice. And here with that great advice is author and licensed therapist, Tricia Ferrara. Hi, Tricia, how are you?
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Let's talk about the title, though. You say, think of the future, act in the now.
Yeah.
Explain that.
So here, now we know what happens in childhood doesn't stay in childhood. It goes into the future. We know this from brain research. We know this from clinical observations. Kids, their brains are open to parental influence. And then come adolescence, the rest of the world comes in. And I think you and I can agree that message is not always good for them.
Oh, for sure. That's so true.
Right. So the premise is that you must give them the skills and tools 0 to 12 so that when they go to take on the world, they have good judgment, accountability, all that stuff.
So that's what's your best advice for parents right now, here and now?
Breathe.
Okay.
Okay.
Step back, breathe.
Mother Nature is taking care of a lot of this, but I think we squander some of the opportunities by punishing or pushing too hard and not realizing that if we just take an approach that has some practical insight, we can get our kids moving in the right direction.
So you say you have 5 goals, right?
Yeah. So,
Five. Let's do some of that right now.
Right.
Allow plenty of unstructured play time.
Right. So now we all know a lot of parents are pressured to have kids, little kids, you know, toddlers practically, academic pressures, right? And it loses this opportunity for unstructured play, which is so important for their mental health. This is where kids take charge of situations. They're able to write their own stories. They can create opportunities where they can problem solve. It reduces anxiety. And if they're bored, they have to come up with something to do.
Wow, I hear you.
I mean, that's resilience at the core.
Allow self-discovery.
Well, self-discovery is so important. Most people want self-esteem, which is great, but I think it's overrated. What they need is an ability to respond to challenging situations where they can say, I've got this, I've got this. And you know, that expands your world.
I got this, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Got to say that, no doubt about it.
So let them have some adversity. That's what that's about.
And you say focus on being the resource, not the enemy.
Right. So I have a clinical practice, and I often talk with teens who get themselves in trouble, and they say, I'll ask them, why didn't you go to your parents first instead of compounding the problem? And inevitably, they're afraid of the parental freak out.
I got you.
Okay? So when you're freaking out over spilled milk, kids are retaining that, and when they find themselves in trouble later on, they're trying to avoid that, so they see you as the enemy and not a resource.
Interesting,
Keep that top of mind.
We've got about 30 seconds left.
Yep.
We want to get both in. Teach language skills.
Teach them how to articulate what's going on, not just these verbal bombs of I hate you, you're a jerk, you know that drill.
Oh, yes, I do. And the last one is interesting. Friction always precedes growth, and I'm thinking that has to do with tough love?
Well, no, it's when things get rough with kids, that means they need a new skill set. That's when you really have to rock back, like you said, regroup, say, what is this kid trying to tell me? And give them the skills and tools to do that. It's like when you outgrow your clothes. It's like uncomfortable, and you gotta, get a new set.
That's good advice for single parents as well?
Oh, always, absolutely. Yep.
Trish, thanks for coming in.
You bet.
I appreciate you. For more on Tricia's book and parenting advice, go to CBSPhilly.com and click on Talk Philly. We'll be right back.